Franklin Delano Floyd, born June 17, 1943, is an American death row inmate. He was convicted of the 1989 murder of Cheryl Ann Commesso, a mother of 3 from Florida, as well as the kidnapping of his 6-year-old stepson from his elementary school in Choctaw, Oklahoma. Floyd is also considered a person of interest in the 1990 hit-and-run death of his wife Sharon Marshall. It was later discovered that before becoming his wife, Sharon had been raised by Floyd from an early age as his daughter and was herself kidnapped by Floyd as a child. Sharon's true identity remained a mystery until 2014, when she was positively identified as Suzanne Marie Savakis, the daughter of a woman to whom Floyd was briefly married. He disappeared with Suzanne, her 2 sisters and infant brother while her mother was serving a 30-day jail sentence in 1975. Suzanne's brother has never been located. 2-3. Floyd was born in Barnesville, Georgia, the youngest of 5 children born to Thomas and Della Floyd. Shortly after Floyd's first birthday, his alcoholic father died from kidney and liver failure. His mother struggled to make a living on her own and was eventually forced to give up her children. 4. In 1946, Floyd and his siblings were put into the care of Georgia Baptist Children's Home in Happaville. There, Floyd was bullied by other children for being feminine and later reported to have been sodomized with a broomstick when he was 6 years old. He was also subjected to harsh punishments by the staff. As a teenager, his hand was dipped into hot water after he was caught masturbating. Floyd often got in trouble for fighting and stealing. In 1959, the children's home put Floyd into the custody of his sister, Dorothy, after he ran away and broke into a nearby house to steal food. 4. After being kicked out of his sister's home, Floyd traveled to Indianapolis to search for his mother, Della, only to learn that she had become a prostitute. Floyd had Della help him forge legal documents allowing him to go to California to enlist in the U.S. Army. However, the Army discharged Floyd 6 months into his service after discovering that he was underage and that his papers were falsified. 4. After being unable to find his mother again, Floyd traveled across the country as a drifter. Della eventually died on July 2, 1968, and is buried in Graceland Cemetery in Chicago, Illinois. 5. On February 19, 1960, at age 16, Floyd broke into a Sears department store in Inglewood, California to steal a gun. Police quickly responded to a burglar alarm, resulting in a shootout in which Floyd was shot in the stomach. He survived following emergency surgery. After recovering, he was sent to a youth institution for a year. In 1961, he was arrested for violating his parole by going on a fishing trip in Canada with a friend. 4. In May 1962, Floyd returned to Happaville and found a job at Atlanta International Airport. The following month, he abducted a 4-year-old from a local bowling alley and sexually assaulted her in the nearby woods. Floyd was convicted of kidnapping and child molestation and was sentenced to serve 10 to 20 years at the Georgia State Prison in Reidsville. That November, he was moved to the Milledgeville State Hospital for psychiatric testing. 4. While being taken out for a medical errand in 1963, Floyd escaped and fled to Macon, where he robbed over $6,000 from a branch of the Citizens and Southern National Bank. He was convicted of the robbery and was sentenced to the Federal Reformatory in Chillicothe, Ohio. After a second escape attempt, he was transferred to the United States Penitentiary in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. 4. There, he was continuously raped by other inmates, causing him to climb a roof at the prison and threaten to commit suicide at one point. After being sent to the federal penitentiary in Marion, Illinois, Floyd was sent back to the Georgia State Prison in 1968 and befriended a fellow inmate named David Dial. In November 1972, Floyd was released from prison and sent to a halfway house. On January 27, 1973, a week after he was released from the halfway house, he approached a woman at a gas station and forced her into her car, where he attempted to grope and sexually assault her. The woman managed to escape and Floyd was arrested. Floyd convinced Dial, who had also been released from prison, to post his bond, allowing him to go on the run as a fugitive. When he failed to show up for court on June 11, 1973, a warrant was issued for his arrest. In 1974, Floyd, using the alias Brandon Williams, met a woman named Sandy Chipman at a North Carolina truck stop. Chipman was the mother of 4 children from 2 different fathers, Suzanne, born 1969, from her first husband, Cliff Savakis, and Allison, born 1971, Amy, born 1972, and Philip, born 1974, from her second husband, Dennis Brandenburg. Floyd and Chipman dated for a month and married. Floyd convinced Chipman to move her family with him to Dallas, Texas. Chipman was sentenced to 30 days in jail for passing bad checks in 1975. While she served her time, she left her children in the custody of Floyd. After she was released, she arrived home to find the residence vacated and her husband and children gone. Chipman eventually found her two middle daughters, Allison and Amy, in the care of a local church-operated social services group. She never found her oldest child, Suzanne, or her youngest child, Philip. The boys' whereabouts remain unknown. By 1989, Floyd, his second wife, Tanya Dawn Hughes, who also had gone by the alias Sharon Marshall, and her infant son, Michael Hughes, were living in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Tanya worked as a dancer at a strip club. A fellow dancer, Karen Parsley, encouraged Tanya to leave the domineering Floyd, only for Tanya to claim that he would kill her and her child if she tried. Floyd had joined the Fraternal Order of Police, despite not being a cop, and had told Tanya that he could use his connections to track her down. However, by April 1990, Tanya had decided to run away with Kevin Brown, a college student she was having a secret relationship with, and take Michael with her. That month, 3 passers-by found Tanya lying on the side of a highway, 100 miles outside of Oklahoma City. She was rushed to the Presbyterian Hospital in Oklahoma City with severe bruises and a large hematoma at the base of her skull. As she was found with groceries scattered around her, police surmised she had been struck from behind in a hit-and-run while walking from a convenience store to a nearby Motel 6. When Floyd arrived at the hospital the following day, he claimed he had fallen asleep at the Motel 6 after Tanya had departed to collect the groceries.